3, 2, 1. Tangent TV.
I've spent some time gathering and analyzing data from all the major platforms, 1,100 plus worksheet books with bestseller ranks.
Tangent Edu-Intel with Katharyne.
Over 1,000 books from Amazon. 100 ideas for creating new books. And this is based on the data. This is really your best opportunity for getting new ideas, new inspiration based on what is already working. Products that you can create for those high demand, low competition keywords. There are 300 keywords here, each with 18 worksheets. What this has done is shown us a niche that maybe we didn't know about. You know what? I'm not even seeing this niche on Amazon. I think we found an opportunity. I bet it's not how many hours should I spend doing geography tonight. I bet it's I am really anxious about this test on Monday. There are a lot of opportunities here. It's really about taking a step back and not looking at what other sellers are doing. It's about looking at your customers, the students, the teachers, the parents. What are the problems that they're actually experiencing that are currently unsolved? It's like telepathy. It's like seeing into the minds of your customers. I've analysed the most frequent problems that are talked about in this Reddit data. This is a worksheet idea ready to go, and this is where the GPT gets really clever, and we're just going to paste in that list and say, blast it. Look at these super adorable monsters. We haven't typed a single word onto the page, and that's it. We have a worksheet, so that is just using the GPT. I didn't type anything. I just copied those fields across, and then I let the GPT make some clip art. GPT did all the work. It's like just a huge content generation machine for you. So this is a really fantastic bundle. It is absolutely jam-packed with data research, suggestions, ideas, the planner, the GPT. You get all of that, which is just huge. Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Katharyne, and I'm really excited today because I've got two cool things to tell you about. And they're different, but they're also kind of connected because they're both about Notion. And we're going to be talking a lot about Notion through today's video. So the first announcement is that I've put together an enormous bundle for anyone who is creating products for Teachers Pay Teachers or for KDP or Etsy that are educationally themed. I have put together a massive research bundle. It has thousands of rows of data from a whole bunch of major platforms, including Amazon, Etsy, and even Reddit. And it also has thousands of ideas for you to create for platforms like KDP, Etsy, and Teachers Pay Teachers. So I'm going to be diving deep into that. I'm going to show you what's in it, how you can use it, and hopefully how you can make a lot of money from it. The other thing that I want to tell you about, which, as I say, is somewhat related to this, is about my course Origins. And guys, Origins is amazing. If you are not in that course, you are missing out. And I hate to say that, but oh my gosh, there is so much in the groups at the moment. I share prompts, I share business ideas, even things like grant opportunities. If I find those, I will share those with the Origins group. And we have just added yet another module to Origins, not just a class, but a whole module. It's about an hour and a half, so it's really a course in itself. And it is an introduction to Notion. So I'm talking about the basics of Notion, how you get started with that, and how you can start to monetize it. I think it's very important because right now, Notion is one of the key products that is selling for significant money on platforms like Etsy, Gumroad, and on dedicated marketplaces. It is a really powerful tool, and you can use it for so much. We have just added a whole module to Origins that is all about Notion, how you can monetize it, how you can use it to build planners, how you can use it to create databases, and even how you can build a portfolio like this one. This is a portfolio I made of some AI art. You can use Notion to create a beautiful portfolio very quickly. You don't have to make a website, you don't have to get bogged down in code. It's a really powerful way of sharing your art. Notion is also really amazing as a planner. You can keep all of your projects organized in it. You can use it for keeping your notes organized. And they've just added a ton of AI to Notion. So it is a very powerful platform, and it is growing all the time. There is increasing interest in Notion. It's getting a lot of attention. And here's the big thing. Origins is all about monetizing AI. And not just that, it's about the skills that you need as an entrepreneur in 2025. And here's the crazy thing. This module has just taken us to 24 hours of content. The idea with it is to introduce you to different paths you can take to monetize, show what's working and where. It covers all kinds of things from creating art, music, and video. In particular, I think monetizing music is really powerful, and not many people are doing it in the way that I teach it. I think that is a very direct route. And I also teach you data scraping. So you learn how to scrape information and analyze it from platforms like Amazon and even Reddit. So it's really powerful for finding out what people are looking for, what customers want. I think when you see this teacher's research bundle, I think you'll see how that data can be really, really valuable when you're figuring out what products you want to create, whatever your niche is. And here's the thing, I'm just using this for educational products. But if you're creating coloring books or GPTs, and I teach you how to do that in Origins as well. We have a very detailed GPT building module that even has a dedicated GPT builder with 160 templates for GPTs that you can resell. That is an exclusive tool that is in Origins. But if you're making GPTs, you can be making a physical product for Amazon. I teach you the skills to research online and find what is actually selling and what customers are looking for. I think if you're interested in Notion, you will really, really enjoy learning this. Here's the really crazy thing about Notion. People are making tens of thousands of dollars. Some are even making hundreds of thousands of dollars through Notion. How do I know this? Because I can see it on Gumroad, on Etsy. People are selling Notion templates, Notion dashboards for really big money. Like, let's take a look at this. There's an ADHD planner here for Notion that is selling for $19.95, so about $20, and it has 1.7K reviews. And that's just the start of it. There's this witchy planner, 1.7K reviews. There's a girl life planner with over 600 reviews. And look at this one. There is a specialist Notion planner here that is selling for $635, 324 reviews. And that's just going by reviews. Remember, only a fraction of people who buy actually bother leaving reviews. So there are tons of Notions selling on Etsy. If we look at Gumroad, it's the same story. Look at this product, 4,500 reviews. And this Dream Life planner here, $18, 600 reviews. Creator Brain, 500 reviews, $37. So there is a lot of money right now being made in Notion. It is a really awesome niche, and it's very flexible. I've actually been wanting to add this class to Origins right from the beginning of the year because I felt that Notion is such a powerful tool. I've been using it a lot myself, and increasingly so, actually, especially now they've added AI to it, which has made it easier to use and really fun. There is a little bit of a learning curve with it, but that's actually a good thing if you're a product creator, because it stops that barrier from entry to being so low that everyone's jumping in on it. But it's absolutely worth it, because if you put in the work, you can create some amazing things. And you don't need to know how to code. There is no coding involved unless you want to learn to code. And in which case, It is very exciting because a lot of people are saying to me, hey, Katharyne, how do I get started learning to code? How do I get started with vibe coding? And actually, Notion is a really good way into that because you start learning good principles of building applications. You learn about databases. If you want to, you can learn about formulas. You can start building formulas. And it has embedded AI, so it can actually teach you all of that. And it's nice because you can tackle it at any level you want to. So you can just create very simple planners for yourself. And it's a little bit addictive. So you might find that once you've mastered that, you want to create something more data-driven, or you want to create something more interactive. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Origins also includes an introduction to automation. So if you've been wondering how to get started with automation, that is in Origins. I show you a couple of projects, including how to automate a Facebook page, which is really, really fun. So I think if you've been interested in getting into automation, but you don't even know where to start, Origins gives you a great introduction to that. The idea with Origins is to cover a wide collection of skills that will really boost your portfolio, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're working for yourself, or whether you're looking at outsourcing work to other people as a VA, for example, or whether you need something to go on your resume. Origins is going to give you a ton of skills, experience, knowledge, and pathways that you can take. We released Origins in the summer at the end of May, and since then we have added so much to it. We added the data scraping classes, we added monetizing video, automation, and we even put our tool FrameSnap into Origins. And FrameSnap is awesome. If you haven't taken a look at that, please do at framesnap.tangent.rocks. If you make video or you're into photography, check it out because there are so many cool things you can do with it. And I actually like to use it for creating coloring books as well. There's a video about that on framesnap.tangent.rocks. Do have a look at that if that's something you're interested in. And also, if you're looking at buying Origins and you've bought anything else from us, do send me a message because we always have coupons available for people who've bought Imagine or who've bought Tangent templates. Or if you're experiencing hardship, then do feel free to send me a message, support@tangent.rocks, and I can see if I can help you out because I would love for you to join Origins. So let's move on now and talk about this data bundle. This is a huge project that I've been working on for the last few weeks, and I'm really happy with it. I think it is a really exciting product, and it includes a lot. First of all, it includes tons and tons of data from a variety of platforms. So this is all data-driven research. If you want to find out what people are actually buying, what people are looking for, I have done my very best to give you that information. It is like a magic peek into Amazon, Etsy, Teachers Pay Teachers, Reddit. I'm going to show you all of that. It also includes a really cool GPT that will help you with worksheets. And if you're using Tangent templates, it works so well for creating worksheets in literally a few minutes. So I'm going to show you that GPT, which I think is awesome and I think you'll really enjoy using. And the Notion bundle also includes a project planner. So if you are working on products for Etsy, Teachers Pay Teachers, etc., you can track those in the project planner. And what you will do with this Notion dashboard is you are going to make a copy of this, and that is your copy that you can personalize, you can customize, you can edit, you can add whatever you want to this. So this is yours to customize in any way that is helpful for you. So you can adapt the planner, you can do whatever you want with it. You can use this as a starting point, and as you learn about Notion and get good with Notion, you can customize it in all kinds of ways. And if you get lost, if you mess it up, you can always make another copy of this and start again. It is yours to play with and explore. You just can't resell it or share the data anywhere else. But other than that, it is your tool to customize and use for your personal use in any way you like. And I think it will give you hundreds of good ideas. And of course, they are validated ideas. I'm giving you keyword information, search volume information. You can see exactly what is popular. This really is like an X-ray peek into what people are buying in the education and teaching niche. So first of all, there's a welcome message which explains what is in the bundle, and there's also a link to the Worksheet GPT. So to use the GPT, all you're going to do is click on this link and that will open it up for you in ChatGPT. No messing about, you're just literally there in ChatGPT, ready to start working. Now, on the right-hand side here, you have a project planner, and this is where you can keep track of any of the projects that you are working in. Here we've got a classroom management planner, elementary math bundle. These are example projects. You can keep track of the status of your projects, what platform you're going to put them on, what category of product it is, the price, how many sales that you have got on this project. So this is a really cool planner for keeping track of what you are creating for different platforms. If we scroll down to the bottom of the dashboard, then you'll see that there's a big version of the planner at the bottom, and it has multiple views. This is really powerful because first of all, you have a project board, and this is kind of like your Kanban board, if you're familiar with that. It basically categorizes the different projects you're working on into different stages. So you have things that are in idea stage, things that are in design stage, in progress, the listing's being created, it's already published, or it's being updated. This is a great way to keep track of your different projects. You can also view these as a table display. If you're more familiar with Google Sheets, then this will be very familiar to you. It's just rows and columns with the information in. There's even a calendar view. This is pretty cool. It tells you what projects are happening when in your calendar, so you can go and keep track of them that way. Now, Notion is really nice for working in a database like this. First of all, you have a search feature. So if you just want to find your math projects, for example, you can type in math and it will just find you products that mention math, which is fantastic. So you have a really easy search bar there. You just click the magnifying glass. You also have a search function. If you want to sort this, we can sort it by price, for example. So I can do price ascending, and you can see it's just sorted all of these from lowest to highest. And of course, you can do descending, and you can sort by anything else. You can sort by date, for example. So it's really easy to just do a sort here. And there's also a filter option. So if, for example, you just want to see things that you're working on for Etsy, you can click platforms and just select Etsy. And that will just show you products that you're working on for Etsy. Once you have ownership of this dashboard, you can customize this to anything you want. So you can add different platforms to it. You can add different status. You can add different categories. You can make this anything you want. It is your planner to play with. Now, what's going to happen is when you purchase this bundle, then you get a link to my data bundle. And that link allows you to duplicate the bundle into your own Notion workspace, which means that now it's yours and you can work on it in any way you want. And you're going to get the instructions for how to do that. So when you go to Gumroad and you buy this bundle, you're going to get the instructions with the link and how to duplicate it into your workspace. And then you're going to unlock this page. That will mean that you can edit the planner and put your own content in there and start using it. So we're going to do that. We're just going to unlock the page. And now you can see we have this option to add new items. And you can add a new idea to the board. You can add it in the table view by clicking new item or in any of these views. So I'm just going to add it on the board. So I'm going to click new item and we're going to give this a name. So maybe we're going to say Halloween worksheets. Great. So now we need a category, worksheet, add a price. We're going to sell this for $15. Perfect. And I'm going to want to sell it on Etsy, and I might make a book outfit to sell on KDP. And we could put it on Gumroad as well. And then the created date, well, I'm just going to put the date that we had the idea. And I'm going to add a description. So I'm going to say bundle of 10 Halloween worksheets. And then I'm going to select the targeted audience. So we're going to make that for grades 3 to 5. And this is your planner. So if you want to change this up, you want to add your own platforms, you want to add different target audiences, you can just go to the settings up here. And then what you're going to click is edit properties. And from there, you can change any of these. So if we click platforms, for example, now you can add a new option here. Like if you want to sell it on eBay, you can just add that in. And now we can actually go and edit this and add eBay as a platform. So it's really straightforward. It's really fun to work with. And of course, you can search for that. So you could look for eBay, and there you go. There's our new Halloween worksheets. And then when you move from this being an idea, you can actually drag that across. And let's say maybe we finished this project here, the Middle School Science Lab Journal. Now we can just move that across to listing creation. And when you look at it in the table view, you can see that it's moved there in the table view as well. And as you get good with Notion, you can add all kinds of customization to this. You can add new views to this. You can add new fields to this. It is your planner for you to adapt as you want. And if you want to learn how to build templates like this, then check out Origins. Now we can get to another exciting part where we start looking at the data in this bundle. It is huge. I have spent some time gathering and analyzing data from all the major platforms, and I would love to have a look at that with you. First of all, I'm actually going to jump ahead and let's have a look at the Amazon data. So if we take a look at this, there are several links here. First of all, we have 1,100 worksheet books with bestseller ranks. Then I have some observations from that data, so that's an analysis. And then there's 100 ideas for creating new books, again, that are based off this data. Let's take a look at the data itself. When you open this up, this is what you're going to see. Amazon data, 1,100 plus worksheet books with bestseller ranks. I have pulled over 1,000 books from Amazon. These are bestsellers that have the keyword worksheets. So if I scroll down here, we can start browsing and seeing what it has pulled for us. You can see there's handwriting workbooks, cursive handwriting, trace letters. Like, this is gold right here because it is telling us what the bestseller ranks are for these books. And as you can see, this is extremely high ranks, 275, 510. These books are selling dozens, if not hundreds of copies a day. These are really, really big sellers. It tells you the category they're in, it gives you the ASIN, and it even tells you how many reviews they've got. So this one here, SiteWords Activity Workbook, it's had over 15,000 reviews. Super popular book. And if we click on this, you can actually see there is a link here to the book. So you can see some more information about this on Amazon. You can go and read the reviews and check out the pictures and find out more information about this best-selling book. And we can just close that by clicking off it. You can do this for any of these books. There is over 1,100 books listed here. And of course, you can search them as well. If you want to search, for example, for handwriting, you can just start typing in the search bar, and that will give you all the handwriting books that are in this data set. So that's the Amazon data. We also have 200 observations, and I'm not going to spoil this, but this is a quick breakdown of all the data, and you can see the first 3 or 4 items there, but there are 200 observations on this data. And then we also have some really creative ideas. And again, I'm not going to spoil this because people are going to be buying this bundle, and you can see how much value is in this bundle. There are just so many ideas in here, but it has 100 ideas for creating new books. And this is based on the data. So this is really your best opportunity for getting new ideas, new inspiration based on what is already working, but with a new creative twist to it. So these are ideas for new original books. And you can see here, even these first 2 ideas are fantastic. A handwriting workbook where each letter of the alphabet introduces a character trait. A is for ambitious, B is for brave. That's fantastic. A handwriting book that's also about character. The site word detective agency, with a colorable detective badge and certificate. So this works for both worksheets that you can put on Etsy, TPT, Gumroad, or that you can make books from. Now, if we open this one up, there's a whole huge section in here about Teachers Pay Teachers. So Teachers Pay Teachers actually do publish some of the most popular keywords. And what's very interesting about this is that the words they publish, they say are opportunities. They are keywords that people are searching for, but that don't have a whole lot of results for. So basically, low competition, high demand keywords. So what I have done is taken all of those keywords and I have generated tons of ideas for products that you can create for those high demand, low competition keywords. Let's take a look. So first of all, in this link, I have the keywords themselves, and there's a lot of them. I think there's 300 for each month. So August, here are just a few ideas. There's a bathroom sign-out sheet. That's something that people are looking for on Teachers Pay Teachers, but there aren't many results for. An All About Me bag. A Getting to Know Your Child Parent questionnaire. So these are all keywords or phrases that are begging for products to be made. So what I have done, if we go back now and we go to this next link here, August keywords, check this out. I have taken those Teachers Pay Teachers keywords and I have done additional research on those. The numbers that you see on these cards here are how many Google searches each of these keywords is getting per month. So periodic table is huge. It's getting 2.7 million searches on Google every month. Now, are all those people looking for worksheets or teachers' products? Not necessarily, but it does indicate that it is a highly searched for niche, just like solar system, citizenship, multiplication chart. So these are definitely things that people are searching for, both on Teachers Pay Teachers and on Google. And there are 300 of these keywords for August, September, October. So there's a lot of data here. And I'm just getting started. Because now, if we click over to worksheet ideas, things get a little bit crazy. Because I have taken each of these keywords, and for each keyword, I have generated a whole ton of worksheet ideas. There are 6 worksheet ideas for elementary school, 6 for middle school level, and 6 for high school level. So each of these keywords has 18 worksheets, and there are 300 keywords here, each with 18 worksheets. There is a lot to look through here, get inspired by, and hopefully go make products in something that interests you. For example, the periodic table here, worksheet 1 idea for elementary school is an Element Explorer coloring page with a selection of common kid-friendly elements, like a bubbly water droplet for hydrogen, a shining ring for gold. This is awesome. This gives you a starting point for a really cool worksheet that you can make. And that's just worksheet 1. Worksheet 2, build a table, cut and paste to build your own periodic table. Worksheet 3, tracing cards, and so on. So that's 6 worksheets for elementary level. And then there's another 6 for middle school level and another 6 for high school level. So now we get into a historical scientist biography, electron configuration crosswords. It's crazy. There is so much information in this. If we look at Labor Day, for example, what do you make a worksheet about for Labor Day? This tells you. How about community helpers tracing? This worksheet features line arts of various community helpers that you can trace with big bold labels beneath. And if you're wondering how to get started making worksheets, I'm going to show you that in a moment, because with Tangent templates and our GPT, it really takes a lot of the headache out. You can generate clipart and you can generate all the fields ready to just paste across into Tangent templates. It's very, very quick. I've been making worksheets so fast with this method. There are 300 keywords in this set. If I switch to the Show All view here, you can just click on these to get the worksheet ideas. And you can just copy and paste this across to ChatGPT to ask for more information or to get it to help you create the worksheet. And again, I do have a GPT to help you with this, which you do get in the bundle. So we'll look at that in a moment. Now, that's just one of the data sets for Teachers Pay Teachers. I've also put September keywords and October keywords. And the reason I focused on these is because these are the most recent data sets. These are from August, September, October from last year. So that's the most recent published data from Teachers Pay Teachers. I also have all the other historical opportunities that they've published, and I've grouped those together and organized them by grade level. So you can check out kindergarten opportunities and see what are the most popular keywords for kindergarten. And you can do the same for elementary, middle school, and high school. And again, I have generated worksheet ideas for these. So these are huge, huge data sets, absolutely stuffed with ideas. There are literally thousands of worksheet ideas in these data sets. There's so much for you to explore. And these are original ideas for you to explore, flesh out, develop, niche however you want. But this is amazing to get you started with creating products that are for keywords that Teachers Pay Teachers are actually saying, guys, these are opportunities. Please create for these keywords. Now, if Teachers Pay Teachers isn't your jam, I've also got sets of data for Etsy. And I actually have 6,000 products from Etsy. There may be a little bit of overlap between them because they are 3 keywords that are kind of related. So technically it's 3 data sets, each with 2,000 products. It might be a little less than that on products because there is some overlap between them because of keywords. But this is still, again, a huge amount of content. So let's have a look at this. 2,000 Etsy bestsellers by keyword homeschool. So these are 2,000 products from Etsy that have the keyword homeschool that are selling really, really well. Now, data like this is always somewhat approximate, but it does give you a very strong indication of popular products. And you can go and validate it yourself by clicking on the links, seeing how many reviews are on these products. It is pretty cool. The other thing I want to say as a disclaimer is that when it says sales in the last 7 days, this isn't live data. So this is referring to the last 7 days as of me gathering the data, which is actually very, very recent. It's in the last couple of weeks. But if you're a purist, then look more at the total sales because that is sales from all time. This gives you a huge indication as to what is popular on Etsy. And of course, these are real products. You can click on them and go to the actual listing and find out much more about them. So we can just look at the first row here. And as I say, there's 2,000 items in this data set. So you can see we've got kids' daily responsibilities chart, printable daily routine. The second popular thing here is the Human Anatomy Busy Book. So you really get a feel for what kind of niches are really popular on Etsy. I mean, daily responsibilities is a great niche. This had over 8,800 sales. It sells for $6. Memory work, coloring pages. I mean, look at this. This had over 5,000 sales and sells for $32. So let's actually take a look at this. You can click on the link right here, and this will take you directly to the URL. And you can see that indeed this is a really popular product. It's currently in more than 20 shopping carts. And this is what it looks like. Science, math, English, geography. So I think it's coloring pages where you can add writing. It'll help you memorize different details that you need. And if we look down at the item details, you can see what this is about. Hand-drawn and designed engaging history, science, geography, coloring pages to supplement classical memory work. So I guess this really helps kids to memorize useful facts that they need for school or for learning. And I found this using the homeschool tag. So this is a really popular product for homeschoolers. And we can also look at reviews to see how people are using this. I've ordered all 3 cycles of Amy's gorgeous hand-drawn and designed coloring books, We have been using them during our morning memory work time for years. So this is a niche I really didn't know anything about, memory work. And I am in no way saying copy someone else's product. This lady's obviously put a ton of work and love into her products. She is making them as hand-drawn products and they look absolutely fantastic. But what this has done is shown us a niche that maybe we didn't know about, colouring as part of memory work. So this is something really cool to explore. And here's the really powerful thing. Just because we found this on Etsy doesn't mean that you are limited to creating memory work products for Etsy. Maybe this is something that works really well for KDP. If we look up memory work colouring, look at this. I'm seeing memory books for adults. The easy and relaxing memory activity book for adults. I'm not really seeing kids books here. Let's add kids to our search. 77 memory verses every kid should know. You know what? I'm not even seeing this niche on Amazon. I think we've found a really open niche for KDP books. If I search memory work colouring kids, none of these books look anything like those books that we're seeing on Etsy. So I think we've found a niche. I think we've found some keywords. I think we've found an opportunity. And this shows why it's so valuable to look at data from different platforms. And guys, this is something I've learned in the past from retail arbitrage. I have flipped products from eBay to Amazon. I've bought products from eBay to sell on Amazon and vice versa. Sometimes something will be really popular on one platform, really busy on a platform, and completely open on another platform. So what I have tried to do with these data sets is give you insights into multiple platforms so you can really get a feel for what's popular in general. Because you know, if customers are searching for something on Etsy, then they're going to be searching for it on Amazon. And in some ways, Etsy is like a canary. It's like an insight into what customers want. You can take that to Amazon. A lot of the time, something is selling on Etsy and no one on Amazon is even bothered with it. And this is why I always say, like, be careful with KDP research tools, because they're just giving you such a narrow view. There are opportunities that you will only learn about by checking out things away from KDP, looking at brick and mortar stores like Barnes & Noble, looking at Etsy, looking at Teachers Pay Teachers. So hopefully all these data sets that I've given you here will help you find some of those niches. I've given you bestsellers by keyword worksheets, and you get a peek here at some of the first few that are in this set. And of course you can search. If you want to search for animals, for example, you can see worksheets that have the keyword animal in there. The other thing that I have given you for Etsy, I haven't given you the thousands and thousands of worksheet ideas like I did for Teachers Pay Teachers, but I have given you original product suggestions. And I'm just going to show you the first 5 rows here, but these are original product suggestions inspired by the homeschool niche. So check it out. Niches for older students. The Homeschool Historians Debate Club Kit. I love this. A printable kit for historical debates. Like, that's not just a product. That is a whole series you could create. Debate kits, like Hamilton versus Jefferson. And of course you can go to Claude or ChatGPT and say, hey, give me 10 topics for historical debates. And you can make a whole series of products. This isn't one product. This is a brand right here, Debate Club Kits. Amazing. I love financial literacy for teens, the entrepreneurship project as well. That's fantastic. So for each set of Etsy data, I think I've generated maybe 200 product ideas. So you're just seeing the first 5 here, but there are sets for each of these keywords that I've researched: homeschool, worksheets, and teachers. So we've looked at the Etsy data, we've looked at the Amazon data, and the Teachers Pay Teachers data. Now, this last data set, teacher pain point posts from Reddit, is particularly interesting, and I didn't get the results I was expecting to get when I started scraping Reddit. Again, if you want to learn how to scrape Reddit, I have a whole class on this in Origins. So if you want superpowers to look into Reddit and get data from there, I show you how to do that. I started with about 7,000 posts from Reddit about teaching. And then what I did was I extracted 470 posts from that were about particular problems that teachers were experiencing. And this is the crazy insight that I found. I found that most of the problems that teachers were experiencing weren't actually related to curriculum and teaching. A lot of them related to mental health and communications and administration. This is another example of where, as sellers and creators, we can have really blinkered views of things. We think about how to make products for teachers, and we look at a platform like Teachers Pay Teachers, and we see worksheets, and we think, oh, we've got to create worksheets. That's the answer to everything. But if you take a few steps back from that and say, well, what are problems that teachers are actually experiencing? If you can be the first to solve those problems, then that is where you have a product that not only can you put on a print-on-demand site, but that could turn into a whole business. Like, that is something that is a big opportunity if you are solving a real problem. And I can give you another example of this. When I go to Barnes & Noble, for example, and I check out the education section and I look at planners, what you see is a lot of homework planners. So you think, okay, kids need help with organizing their homework and saying, what homework do I have on each day? But when you actually start analyzing what issues kids have with studying, and you start looking at what they talk about on Reddit or on other forums, it's not organizing like, oh, I need to do an hour of math tonight and then an hour of geography. The real problems that kids are experiencing are things like loneliness while they're studying, managing their social attention online. Like, if their friends are talking to them on Discord, how does that balance against doing their homework? What if they have anxiety about homework? That's a huge problem. Kids are experiencing anxiety about homework. Do any of the planners in Barnes & Noble address these issues? Not really. Like, some of them may start putting emojis in there and saying, how do you feel today? But if you can create a new kind of planner or a product that balances, like, you know, the basic admin stuff that kids have issues with of organizing homework against the emotional problems, the things that are really affecting them emotionally and that they are going and asking for help with. Like, if you could see what kids are talking about regarding their homework, like, what do they ask ChatGPT about? I bet it's not, how many hours should I spend doing geography tonight? I bet it's, I am really anxious about this test on Monday. That is a problem that you can help solve. Like, maybe you can make a hybrid planner that works with their social life, mental health, and with organizing the actual work. There are a lot of opportunities here. It's really about taking a step back and not looking at what other sellers are doing. It's about looking at your customers, the students, the teachers, the parents. What are the problems that they're actually experiencing that are currently unsolved, that they're going online and begging for help with? And this is where scraping Reddit is a gold mine. And this is why I put a whole class in Origins about scraping Reddit. Because Reddit is like telepathy. It's like seeing into the minds of your customers. And I actually have some specific ways that I look for pain points. So as I say, I started with about 7,000 posts, and I actually used some analysis techniques, which I talk about in Origins, to particularly hone in on problems and pain points. So let's take a peek at that. This is what the data looks like. If we go to 470 Reddit pain points. So this is a database of 470 problems that I've pulled directly from Reddit. And these all relate to teachers. And what I've done is given you a summary of the post, first of all. You can actually click on this to read the actual post, but it gives you a short summary. So the user writing the question is an older brother of a 14-year-old who is in 7th grade but functions academically at 1st grade level and is struggling. The user fears for the brother's future prospects in society. So what I've done here is for each of these problems, I have generated 3 possible solutions. The first one here is a very practical solution, a bundle of short, first grade level, but teen appropriate printable activities. When you think about this, it's actually quite clever because what you're looking at is first grade level, but with teen content. That's actually an interesting niche for teenagers that are struggling. So it's basically a bundle of printables with visuals, reading, life skill tasks, and help for caregivers. It has caregiver scripts, progress stickers, and weekly routine sheets. That's actually a pretty good product idea. The second product it suggests for that is a school advocacy and assessment toolkit. So this is kind of relevant to what the older brother is asking for. How do you communicate with the school? So it suggests editable letters, meeting agendas, documentation logs, and basically help with preparing for IEP meetings. That's actually kind of an interesting problem to solve. I'm taking these real-life problems from Reddit and generating possible solutions. Now, hey, check this one out. The second problem in here, and I did not rig this. This is all legit from Reddit. Does anyone else use Notion? And they're looking for teaching resources for teachers to use at the front of the class to use Notion. So check it out, possible solutions. Notion front of class spec template pack. I wonder how many of these are on Teachers Pay Teachers. I'm guessing not that many. But this Notion that you are using and perhaps learning right now is actually a skill that people are looking to use in classrooms. This right here, these Reddit pain points, this is a goldmine of content. If you want to find some real problems that teachers are experiencing or that involve teachers, then this is just a huge database of issues. And for each one, I've generated 3 ideas for you. You can take those ideas across to the LLM of your choice, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and just talk. Hey, I kind of like this idea. Give me some more tips on how I can niche this, how I can develop this, how I can adapt this for maybe a different age range, teaching style, or maybe how you can adapt it for homeschoolers. These are just incredible starting points. Another thing that I did with this Reddit data is I generated a massive database of 8,000 or more keywords. There's more than 8,000 keywords. And then I added approximate Google search volumes for those keywords. And I also added trending information as well to see whether they're trending up or down. And you can see the little arrows here that show what's really trending up, like contract templates, big beautiful bill summary. These are all trending up. Distance learning resources, hugely trending up. I wouldn't worry too much about trending information, but if you see something with a big number trending up, that is definitely something to pay attention to because people are searching for that. And there's one more thing I created for the Reddit dataset. So I've analyzed the most frequent problems that are talked about in this Reddit data. So in this category, the top problems are behavior management, like student chatter, lack of focus, defiance. The second one is lesson planning and curriculum alignment. The third one is resource and environment setup. This analysis also gives you some ideas for general products that could solve these frequent problems. This report gives you a good overview of what is in that Reddit data. There's lots more in this bundle. There's a quick calendar that gives you a list of important days that you might want to create things for. There's 100 ideas for different resource types. So that lists things like flashcards, for example, are a resource. It gives you 100 resource types that you can develop. I've also included sight words, motivational sayings. There's more keywords for you to explore. I've put a link to my Midjourney mood boards in there. And if you haven't seen those mood board references, they're really cool. They're actually free on my Gumroad. And what they give you is 5 references that you can use in Midjourney to generate clipart characters that will look consistent on all your worksheets. That is a really neat shortcut for getting unlimited clipart for your worksheets. So this is a huge bundle. It has all the data on here. It's very accessible. You can just open these up and look at all of the data that is in here, explore it as you like. And if you're skilled with Notion, you can explore this any way you want, create your own views of the data. And it has this fantastic project planner that you can use to put all your projects in. So now let's take a look at the GPT and investigate how we can start turning some of these ideas into real products. The link to the GPT is right here at the top of the bundle. So we're just going to click that, and that opens it up for us right away in ChatGPT. This is fantastic. You can use the GPT as a completely standalone tool if you want to. So the first thing we could click is suggest worksheets for a topic. So it says, okay, to suggest the right worksheets, I'll need a few details from you first. Now, you can use the GPT completely standalone. You don't need to use it with the bundle. You don't need to use it with anything else. It will create ideas from you just using the GPT on its own. It asks us for a few things. The first thing it wants, topic or keyword, and it even gives us some suggestions if you want to do fractions, mindfulness, gardening, gratitude. I'm going to say Halloween because that's coming up soon. Age range, who are the worksheets for? So we can say grade 3 to 5, and a country or state. And what's clever about this is it aligns to particular curriculums. So if you want to create worksheets or workbooks or products for a particular curriculum, if you're in the UK, for example, or Australia, or wherever you are, or if you're making them for a particular state in the US, you can put that in. So I can say California. I'm going to hit enter. Boom, it has given us 6 worksheet ideas. Haunted house math, multiplication and division, spooky story starters for creative writing, monster adjectives. That sounds really fun. I like that. Students describe silly Halloween monsters using vivid adjectives. Slimy, gigantic, sneaky. Candy fractions, Halloween safety checklist, and batty bar graphs. Okay, I really like monster adjectives, so let's explore that further. Monster adjectives. And it is giving us a worksheet outline right here. This is how you could build your monster page. Describe your monster, activity, big friendly monster clipart in the center, blank lines and boxes around the monster for your adjectives. This is a worksheet idea ready to go. And this is where the GPT gets really clever. It has Pace Blast fields. And I'm going to assume you're working with Tangent templates here, which I recommend for creating worksheets. It has some really fantastic features. And for KDP, it is unbeatable because Tangent templates will help you format your cover. It'll help you calculate the spine, the margins, all the stuff that's really tricky with KDP. Tangent templates will do that for you. And also, Tangent templates is the best product for creating workbooks with because it can handle lines, graph paper, it has a handwriting font built in. There are a lot of great features in Tangent templates for worksheets. And one of those features is Pace Blast. And this GPT gives you fields ready for Pace Blast. What is Pace Blast? Let's take a look. I'm going to click copy code. So that's just one click there. And I'm going to hop into a blank page in Tangent templates. And to use Pace Blast, this is what we're going to do. We're going to click text, which adds text field, and then we're going to click type. So text and then type. And if you scroll down in the type tab, you'll see this option here, Pace Blast. We're going to click that, and we're just going to paste in that list and say, blast it. Check it out. It has put all the fields we need onto the page. So now we are really ahead of the game. We have all the fields that we need here. We've just got to arrange them on the page. But wait, let's go back to the GPT because it also gives us some suggestions for clip art. It suggests that we can make 4 black and white cartoon monster drawings. So I'm going to say, yes, please. Let's have that clip art. Okay, so that took a few moments, but look at these super adorable monsters. So we can download these. Now you can use these images as is. I like to use Tangent Crystal for this. Now this might sound a little bit of an upsell because For any type of colouring pictures or black and white clip art, I strongly recommend using Tangent Crystal. And the reason for this is that Tangent Crystal does a few things. It takes any grey out of an image, which is perfect for colouring books. So if there's any shadows in an image, it removes that. It also vectorizes the image, which means that it can be stretched to any size. It never needs to be upscaled. It also turns it into a format that can be manipulated in tangent templates, which means you can colorize it, you can thicken the lines, and you can even add a sketch effect to it. The other thing that is really awesome about vectorized images is that you can ungroup them. So we can separate out the 4 different images, and we can even do some really goofy things, like we could take a monster's eye or a set of eyes and use those as a separate clip art. So this is optional. You can use the clip art as it is. You don't even have to use tangent templates. If you want to use another product to make your worksheets or your workbooks, then you are free to do that. But this GPT, tangent templates and Tangent Crystal is an amazing workflow. Let's look at this in action. So I'm going to go to Tangent Crystal, and this is part of our Imagine bundle. And if you haven't checked out Imagine, it is fantastic. It is over 16 hours of tutorials about colouring books and Midjourney. It includes my Bold and Easy class, which shows you how you can make bold and easy colouring book images in Midjourney, which a lot of people think is impossible, but it's not. It can be done. It includes a huge data research pack for colouring books and loads more things. There's a prompt catalogue in there. There is so much content in Imagine, apart from Tangent Crystal. But so many people have told me that Imagine is more than worth it just for Tangent Crystal. So let's check this out. And I'm just going to drag in that image that ChatGPT made. This looks great. If you want to, we can bring the brightness down a little bit, which might darken the lines slightly, make them a little bit stronger. That looks awesome. I'm going to download it. We didn't really need to do any work in Crystal. It's just a couple of clicks. Now we can click Uploads in Tangent Templates, upload that crystallized image, and click it. And here are our clip art images. I'm going to bring those down a little bit and ungroup them. Now I have each separate image like this that I can work with, which is really fun. I think what I'd like to do with this worksheet is actually put a different monster on each worksheet. So I can actually make 4 worksheets like this. I'm just going to create a duplicate of this page so we have a backup with everything on. And the first thing I'm going to do is select these fields and make them a little bit shorter so that they're a little bit easier to work with on the page. I'm doing that, and now I can select this monster. I can move him down here. And what we could do is actually just make these guys small at the bottom, so they could be like a cute little gang at the bottom. And then this monster here, we can put him up there. We can move the fields around, and we can make this a title. So I can center that. I can click Arrange and center that at the top. I can click Type and make that text bigger. Let me center that again. There we go. That looks fun. I can put this guy over here, and then we can take this field that says Describe your monster. And what I could do is put a box underneath that. And we'll make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to fill this box with lines. So I'm going to say college rule lines. Perfect. Now we have a box with some lines. And I want to make that black, so I'm going to select that, make sure those lines are black. And I'm going to thicken it a little bit as it's for younger kids. And I'm going to round the corners on that box a little bit as well to make it a little bit more friendly. Wow, that looks great. So now we have some space for kids to write in on this page. And look at this. We haven't typed a single word onto the page. We just pasted them from that GPT. We are building a worksheet here in no time at all. I want to spread these out a little bit on the page, so I'm going to bring this down a bit. I'm going to take this one up a little bit, and then I'm just going to select all those fields, click Arrange, and distribute them. That looks fantastic. Now I might want to add some lines for the answers here. I'm going to make the line black, thicken it slightly, and then I can put this line here. And I can just copy and paste that line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in fact, I'm going to delete this field because I think that's a little bit confusing. Kids might not know what to put there. I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to put this line here alongside that question. And now I'm just going to select all the lines, align them to the left, and distribute them. And that's it. We have a worksheet. And we built that in a couple of minutes with really not much thinking and zero typing at all. So that is just using the GPT. And this is what I mean about crystallized images. So if we select this guy, we can actually thicken the lines and make him really chunky by adding a border and thickening that a little bit. A lot of people like to do this with their coloring book pictures. You can also select him and make him red. And you can do some quite clever things. Like if we take this eye, for example, we can copy that and paste that and turn that into another element on the page. So you can make 2 eyes and now you've got Google eyes. So you can get quite creative and turn any crystallized clip art into other elements as well that you can use in your worksheets. But let me show you another thing you can do with these. So I'm just going to duplicate this page again. And if I delete everything here, we can take this guy and make him big. Now he's kind of like a coloring page. You can even do stuff like this. If we add a border to it, I'm going to make the border 1 point thick. And I'm going to remove the fill. And now it looks like this. So this is kind of a fun style to color. And you can even make this a dotted line. So it's kind of fun for little kids to draw with as well. That's just another fun thing you can do with crystallized images. But I think the most practical thing I can do with this is make a bundle of worksheets with this. I'm happy with that layout. I'm going to take this page, duplicate it, and now what I can do is move this guy down to the bottom, and I can put a different monster at the top. So we can select this one and put him here. The kids can pick whichever monster they want to describe and work with on their worksheet. And you could sell this as a bundle with different monsters in. And if you don't like these monsters, you can just go back to ChatGPT and say, give me 4 more monsters. So this is the workflow. I use the GPT, I say suggest worksheets for a topic. It gives me some ideas, or I can pick my own. I said Halloween, grade 3 to 5, California. It suggested some ideas and I picked monster adjectives. There it is, monster adjectives. It built out the worksheet idea for me and I just clicked copy on that. I then used the Paste Blast tool in Tangent Templates to copy these fields across. I didn't type anything. I just copied those fields across. And then I let the GPT make some clip art. All I said was yes, and it made these monsters for me. The GPT did all the work. I just said, yes, that sounds good, okay. And then with the clip art, I used Tangent Crystal, which is in our Imagine bundle, and then I uploaded those to Tangent Templates. So you really have the whole package here. You can make your worksheets super quickly and super easily. And something else you can do, if we add a text field, we can go to the Type tab and select the handwriting font. So we can choose Tangent Handwriting and we can choose the dashed font. And this is really good because what we can do is actually put this over here. We'll make it big so kids have lots of room to write. Make sure it's on the line there. And I'm going to make this text say yellow. But now if we look at this, see, this is a handwriting font that kids can trace. And you can add dotted pages, coloring pages. You can create a whole bundle from this clip art and these fields. It's like just a huge content generation machine for you. And I want to show you a couple more quick examples using the Teachers Pay Teachers data. So I actually went into the August keywords. This is opportunities from Teachers Pay Teachers. And I saw solar system in here. This is getting a lot of searches in Google and is also considered an opportunity in Teachers Pay Teachers. So I went to the GPT and I said, solar system. That's literally all I typed into the GPT. I said solar system. And then it said, okay, what age range, what country or state? I said middle school, San Diego. And it pulled the curriculum and looked at what is on the curriculum for solar system. And one of the things it suggested was gravity in action. So I was like, great, let's go with gravity in action. It created a worksheet outline for me and suggested clipart. So I copied all the fields, open up a new page on Tangent Templates and click text. That puts a text field on the page. And I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. So I'm actually going to size that text before I begin. And I'm going to make sure I'm on the Type tab, scroll down to where it says Paste Blast, and I'm just going to paste those fields across and say blast it. Instantly, we have those fields on the page. I can select these. I think my text is a little bit big there. I'm just going to bring the text size down so you can see them all on the page. And now I can just arrange these on the page and so on. So I ended up with something that looks like this. This clip art also came from the GPT. All I said was yes, please, and it gave me these gravity images. It really does all the work for you. And one more example, I saw Grandparents' Day and thought that would make an awesome worksheet. So I put that into the GPT and I said Grandparents' Day, elementary level, and it gave me some great suggestions for a grandparent worksheet. So it had all about my grandparent interview, my favorite memory with a grandparent, and I said, yes, please, all about my grandparent. I'd like the clip art and the paste blast. I took these images. I like this one with the grandmother and her grandson, and I like this image. I put them through Tangent Crystal and dropped those onto the page here. And of course, it also gave me the paste blast list here, which I copied and pasted onto the page as well. I've been generating these worksheets so quickly using the GPT with Tangent Templates. And optionally, I think Tangent Crystal really helps as well. So that is it. This bundle includes all of the data. It includes the GPT and it has this project planner. So this is a really fantastic bundle. It is absolutely jam-packed with data research, suggestions, ideas, the planner, the GPT. You get all of that, which is just huge. And of course, for creating your books and your worksheets, strongly recommend Tangent Templates. And Tangent Templates is absolutely customized for creating these kind of books. Whenever you create a new page, you can create a page of any of these templates: sheet music, story paper, graph paper, hexagon paper, and just many more templates that you can work from. And these are all super editable. You can choose a planner and you can edit it. You can add dates to it. It is a big product, Tangent Templates. So I strongly recommend using Tangent Templates to create your actual worksheets or books. And if you want to go the full mile, I recommend my Imagine bundle, which has Tangent Crystal and a huge course and a whole bunch of other extras in there as well. If you're thinking of making coloring books, then Imagine is indispensable. And if you're interested in getting everything, Tangent Templates, Imagine, and Origins, which is my new course, 24 hours, that has the Notion module, data scraping, and much more, then send me a message, because we have some great deals on our Everything bundle, where you can pretty much buy everything that Isaac and I have created. And it's all designed to work together and to help you create awesome products to sell. I hope this has all been really helpful and informative for you.
Tangent Edu-Intel with Katharyne.
I know it's a lot of content. I hope it's not too overwhelming. If you have enjoyed watching this and you want to keep following videos from me, please remember to give me a like, thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel below so you don't miss any more of our videos. Do come and join our KDP group and our AI group if you haven't already, and check out this bundle. It is about to make your life so much easier. Alright guys, have an amazing day and thank you for watching.
Tangent Edu-Intel with Katharyne.